Hello and welcome to this week's Meaningful Minute. This week I'd like to share with you about the dark night of the soul. And that's a phrase that was coined by St. John of the Cross back in the 1600s. And it's an experience that God brings us through where God seems to hide himself. And the purpose of it is to strip us of any false beliefs about God or anything that gets in between us and God. So I had a dark night that lasted about 5 months when I was in Ireland in 1982. I felt that God had told me 3 things: that he wanted me to leave my job as a missionary, and I did, and he wanted me to stay in Ireland, and I became a citizen, and he wanted me to become a counselor, which is what I wanted too. So my idea was I had to get into a psychology course because that's the only way I could figure out to be a legitimate counselor in Ireland. And I applied for a course and I was rejected. That threw me. I was just, it was like, what? Did I not hear from God? What's going on? I was in such a dark, dim place for several months. I did some informational interviews and I was trying to trust God, but all I knew is that God is and I am his. That's all I knew. Didn't know if God loved me, didn't know if God was leading me. That was it. I found a verse in Isaiah chapter 28, verse 28, where it says, "Grain for bread is crushed, but not threshed forever, because that will damage it. He doesn't thresh it longer than necessary." And I wrote in my Bible, God's promise. And a month later, I got a call from University College Dublin, and they had a place for me in a social work course. So I became a social worker, the dark night lifted, and I knew God in a much deeper way. So if you're going through a dark night, keep going. It won't last forever, and you'll see good things come out of it. Have a great week.